Hi, this is Phil Potempa, and welcome to another edition of Notoriety. Each week we bring you everything you want to make sure you mark on the calendar, what's not to be missed, and everything you want to make sure that you set aside out of your schedule to have a front row seat to. Everything happening in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, and beyond. And, of course, our weekly broadcast for these past 8 years is really the broadcast equivalent of all of the columns and stories you'll read in the flagship Post-Tribune, which is underneath the umbrella of Chicago Tribune media products. That includes the Daily Southtown Star and all those suburban publications, as well as the main Chicago Tribune newspaper itself. Of course, we couldn't be here without the generosity of our underwriters and sponsors throughout the years, especially our friends and the folks at People's Bank. Over the years, Legacy Foundation, Indiana Arts Commission have all been so generous to make this broadcast possible. Some of you are tuned into our traditional radio airways as we come to you from the Strachan Van Til studios here in Hammond. And I want to make sure I stamp our broadcast, let everybody know in case it is a rebroadcast. This is happening on the morning of October the 7th, 2025. So October the 7th. Others of you might be finding us on social media. You're scrolling through and you decided to stop along the way and see what the conversation's about. So you have the added advantage of seeing everything that's happening right here in our studio. And it's time for introductions so you can see the names and the faces that are going along with those voices that you're hearing during the course of our interview. Our friends to the east in Michigan City, Holdcraft Players, have a new production that's opening for this month of October in just about a week or so. So they're right into the crunch weeks. And they are going to tell us all about it. It is called The Tracers, correct?
Yes.
All right. And so you'll be seeing some photos and a poster to give you dates and things. But we're going to start with our introductions with our director first. We have with us...
Hi. Yep, my name is Alexander Bonner. I'm director for Tracers.
Very good. And our cast members that are framing him on either side. We'll start all the way here.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Rao, and I play Baby San in the play Tracers.
Okay, and here?
I'm Jerry McClure, and I play a character called the Professor.
And have any of the three of you ever been on this radio broadcast before? And maybe another show, production?
Yeah.
You have. And what was the last time? What was it for? Do you remember?
I was directing Proof at the time.
Okay, Proof.
Yeah,
so that's been a little bit ago, right?
Yeah, a little February.
In February, okay, yeah. The year's gone by so fast.
And my nephew was here with him for Proof.
Oh, was it? Okay, so good. Talent runs in the family. Now, this is, again, Holdcraft is wonderful in that a lot of times they will pick a work that may not just be the everyday conversation to say, oh, yeah, I know all about that one. I've seen or heard it. It's an Agatha Christie murder or it's a popular musical. They like to do things that are sort of new and gritty. This is one that I'm not familiar with. It is one that's licensed through dramatist folks out of New York. So first give us a little synopsis of what it's about and why you wanted to pick it, and then we'll probably float some photos to go along with it too.
Yeah, so the big thing with Tracers is it's a show about the Vietnam War. It kind of snapshots and follows through before going into the war, our main 6th platoon, and then going through war and then coming back home from Vietnam. And it's the brilliant thing about the show is it was conceived in the 80s. John DeFosco and a handful of other men who were actors at the time as well, but the biggest thing is they were also Vietnam vets. So they got together and conceivably through workshops conceived a show and just built on it every single time till eventually they had a play structure and they turned this into this wonderful script that is beautiful, haunting, just about camaraderie, brotherhood. Unfortunately, the horrors of war and just a brilliant snapshot of a very tumultuous time in our nation's history.
And we have our usual producer, Adrian, is in our producing booth. And I have to tell you, I did breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, gentlemen, and also to our producer. This show is known for having props and things that we'll bring in to kind of capture the eye. And Tony Thomas helped arrange this interview and kind of gave me a nudge. He's also one of the organizers and the folks that are the leaders at Holdcraft, correct?
Yes.
And also a familiar name. He loves bringing in props. When I saw the publicity photos, Adrian, I thought, what if they pull up and they bring all of those prop guns in here to stack on this desk, or they're holding them? For those of you that are listening or tuning to our broadcast, we are on the Purdue campus here for Purdue Northwest, and we're out of the fringe, but it is still a campus building. And I thought, wow, that would not be good. That would not that would have definitely woken you up, correct, Adrian, if you would have saw that coming in. So the publicity photos, they show all these guns. And it's interesting. We live in a different time. If I had seen those publicity photos 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't think I would have raised my eyebrows, but it was kind of hard for me to look at those photos because they are so intense. It's so raw. But that's what the play, the story that's unfolding, that is the era that was the Vietnam War. I was born in 1970. I only know, of course, what I've read in history books. None of us here, including our producer, we really haven't lived through something of what that's like. I in my college years in the 90s, we had Desert Storm, and that was kind of the war that played out on CNN. We all said we could gather in the dorms and the study lounges where there was a TV, and you could watch it happening, and there were live coverage happening with missiles and things. But Vietnam was one that even today when the veterans come back, it's the one that they don't always talk about, because was there a winner? Should we be involved? And therefore those folks that gave so much in sacrifice oftentimes feel as though they're not recognized in the same way that maybe our other veterans are. Who picked this particular work? I'm curious, because it really is. It's an important work, and I hope a lot of folks are going to get out there and see it. We'll give the dates and details commercial in just a minute here, but is there a selection committee process? Were you a part of it? How did that happen, Director?
Yeah, it was about a year ago when I was going through the shows that I really have wanted to do for a long time, and this is one that I had discovered in college years, and the script just always kind of stuck with me. Once everyone kind of sees it, they'll see why it can stick and haunt with you. But it felt like a very poignant time to tell this story, in our country right now and such like that. So I had brought it to Holdcraft, and then I went through their play selection committee, and they were really gung ho and excited to tell this story, because it is, like you said, it's raw. It's written by veterans, so it does not hold back. There are some scenes that are tough to watch, but there's a beauty and an importance in that message to see.
We're going to talk about the casting and the cast members in just a minute. Here's a good time for us to, for those of you that have the visual optic to go along with our show, we'll flash that poster, and then we'll get you to be our Vanna White and read us all the nuts and bolts dates, because I see you've got a cheat sheet there as well. So give us it is up on the screen as well. Either way, get us the dates for Holdcraft Players presentation of Tracers. I'm not going to bet that you probably have seen this anywhere before, not in our readership area. And, of course, I've been writing my entertainment columns and stories for 30 years, and this is not one that I recall. What year was it produced, real quick? Do you remember when it was first?
It was first conceived 1980 is when the first time it's...
so it has been around for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, now go ahead and give us our dates and our times and how to get tickets.
Yeah, so October 17th, 18th, the 24th, and the 25th.
So 2 weekends we've got it for.
We'll be at 7 p.m. And then our Sunday performances, October 19th and the 26th, will be at 2 p.m.
At Holdcraft Players, really, your performance venue, it's an old high school, right?
Yeah, it's the old Elston High School in Michigan City.
It's just a stone's throw. You jump on the expressway, and you're really there in no time. Get off on 421, and it's just, again, just a couple jaunts around the corner. That auditorium or that space can hold how many seats?
That's the good thing about ours as well, is the audience is right there with the actors, so they're up on the stage and the podiums, and that house seats about 80. So
about 80, okay.
Tickets go fast.
Yes, and again, did we get a ticket price out there? They range around what to what?
I believe it is $17 for adults.
Okay, all right, so very good. And how to get tickets? Best to go online and just do it, or you could show up at the door. But again, you're taking a risk in that it's limited seating. So can you click it through and do it online?
Yeah, it should be YPTC. YPTCinc.com /tickets. There should be, or you can just Google the Holdcraft Players, and that'll bring you to the website, and there's the ticket link there. Yeah, I would always suggest getting tickets ahead of time.
And if you're questioning that alphabet soup that was the website, you're thinking, why is there a Y in there? The word youth is really a part of Holdcraft for the actual group, correct? It's really called is it Young People's?
Yeah, it's theater company.
Yep, Young People's Theater.
So, and the Holdcraft Players, and then that's the venue as well. So coming up these next couple weekends, our broadcasting that you're hearing this right now is captured on October the 7th. So plenty of time for that. Was it difficult casting? How did you net the two people on either side of you? Was there so many people that it was tough? You had some history, you knew these guys and thought, if I can get them to try out, I think I can see them in these roles, or no, it all came through for what they did during that audition window?
Yeah, one of the big things that people talk about for it is an 8-man show. It's just an 8-man ensemble show, and sometimes that could be pretty difficult to cast. Luckily, we had an amazing turnout for auditions. I think the buzz for this show really got people involved. And one of the big things that we really wanted to involve and get people involved. Luckily, we have one, Sean Washington, who plays Little John, is actually a veteran as well. So that was a big aspect of wanting to involve that community and bring them in. But yeah, we had our audition slates, and we had a tremendous amount of talent that showed up. So that's always the good hard part about casting is when you have a good pool to pull from, and it was wonderful.
If you're tuning through radio, that's our director, Alexander Bonner, who's taken the lead in the helm. The cast members he has on either side of them both have key roles, so we're going to hear a little bit about them. One more time, in our first cast, introduce yourself and tell us the role you play and exactly what's been maybe some of the challenges or a specific scene that directors had to kind of work with you with, because it's got to have that certain feel, that moment, and you've got to kind of take yourself to that place. So, again, introduce yourself and give us your role, and we'll take that question.
So, hi, I'm Jimmy again. I'm Jimmy Rao. I play the role of Baby San. The role of Baby San in the play, he kind of every character in the play sort of symbolizes a certain characteristic of a type of person that was in Vietnam, and the writers did a really good job.
Are you in one of the promo photos too that they're flashing?
Yeah, I'm in that.
Okay.
That's me and Jerry.
Gotcha. There you are. Okay.
He's annoying me.
Okay.
Yeah, like always.
Are there a couple light moments as well? So not the whole thing is not just heavy. There are just a few moments interspersed where, hey, we're human. There's some lighter opportunities.
There's plenty of humor in the
Good.
play, but it kind of shows the whole human emotion, the gamut of. There is a light moment that's kind of surrounded then by the horrors of where you are and what you're doing, but that the camaraderie between the platoon still exists. They still joke around. They still have those moments of humanity in the midst of hellish.
You're in
situation.
your 10-day stretch here before an opening curtain. What's that one scene that I'm curious that right now you're still working through, and the director's like, it's got to have a certain tone. You're raw. Take yourself to your place. What's your answer for that one?
So, there's parts in the beginning and the end of the play where we all have interjections, and they all have to be like snippet lines, like quick sayings or slang from Vietnam, and those have been challenging just because the timing has to be right, and that has been the most challenging. That, and then also with this play, just the depth of heaviness being portrayed in these characters is hard at sometimes, but like Jerry said, there's plenty of levity and all the heaviness. So
there's some jargon that only soldiers would know, because the interplay and the wordplay that is a word that means this or that, and you may not know it unless you were part of that military world of that era. Is that right?
Yeah, there's
Can you
a
give
lot.
us one term that's an appropriate term that is for a family audience that, well, that's what they would call, it's mess time, which means to eat, or I don't know. Give us an example of something.
Ricky Tick. Ricky Tick.
Yeah.
Head up, go quickly. Move Ricky Tick.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be a common term. I mean, come on, hustle it up. We got to get, and again, that term is
Ricky Tick.
Okay, so now the same question for you. Introduce yourself, run us to the character, little character synopsis, and then a scene that you've still been working through, or you're really proud of it because you think that's like kind of a moment where, that connection comes through for the audience.
So my name's Jerry McClure. I play the professor in the show, which if you're going through one of the kind of stereotypes of the people at that time, is kind of the intellectual hippie. Sort of why I have all the long hair. I've known Alex for a little while, and when I found out he was doing this project, I wanted to be a part of it. So when I finished a play in the spring, the drill instructor says to my character, "You're a hippie," very early on in the play. So I haven't cut my hair since the spring, so that I have all this going on for tracers. But like Jimmy said, the scenes with the rapid fire jargon is tricky, just because it's not a conversation. Also, you're not following along or a call and response. It can be kind of random and pretty rapid fire, so that's been tricky. There's a scene, and I don't want to give too much away for the play, but there is a scene, let's just say, that is in the aftermath of a conflict, and the soldiers dealing with what has just happened and what is left in the area after a conflict that has been difficult to get into and then difficult to shake off when
Yeah.
the rehearsal's over and we're back in like going home and back in our lives. So that has been a scene that has been really really hard to work on, but rewarding, and it's an honor to tell the story, and it's humbling to tell the story, but it has been hard to go there.
If you're just tuning in and you're hearing these voices, you're hearing the story and the synopsis and the back and forth banter, and you're thinking, what is this? I think I'm going to get tickets. I need to get tickets to this. We're visiting today. I'm your host, Phil Potempa for OfNotoriety. It's the members of the cast and our director for Tracers. It is the play that's going to be, and I believe, again, it's not been done often in Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland. It's going to be done right to our friends to the east, Holdcraft Players, Michigan City. Very easy to get you right off the expressway. It's got a 2-weekend run that comes up here. So you're talking about the first weekend, around 16th, 17th, then it goes into the next weekend. It is written by Vietnam vets based on their scenario, their stories, and a couple key scenes to immerse the audience in what it was like to be right there in the moment. A lot of it not too easy, but very real, and again, a part of our timeline and our history, and so important to tell. And I'm fascinated because I love things that are done in the era. What was a couple of the holy grail? And we're very fortunate. A lot of our theater companies here work so well together, besides sharing cast members, costumes, props, set. What was the holy grail of something that you needed for this production? And you're thinking, where do I come up with dog tags? Or I guess we need 3 canteens that are vintage. Where do I find these? What's been some of that Easter egg hunt for you?
A big, huge shout out goes to Stephanie Neumoff. She, she's our costume designer, meticulously researched, so we have everything accurate to the drill sergeant's uniform, to our doc's uniform, specific medical patches that they would have for the time and such like that. And then going through, we've borrowed stuff, I think from Marion Theater Guild, Chicago Street Theater, helped us with the fatigues and everything like that from the era. We have real ammo boxes that were from the era and such like that.
Do you need fake palms and foliage at all? So it has sort of a jungle look? Or no, that's just implied. Use your imagination.
A little. We do have a little bit for. So our set was pretty minimalistic. We really just have 4 moving platforms and one that's stationary. And then we do have a little bit of foliage that adds this nice, with the lights shining on it, and it looks like they're in the jungle and such like that when they're in patrol scenes and such like that.
And the running time for it, once it's all said and done, it should clock in about what, with or without an intermission?
With a 15-minute intermission, we should be about an hour 45.
Good. So that moves quick.
Hours.
So sometimes that can be a decision for folks that are listening in. They'll think, I don't know if I want to invest 2.5 hours. But if something's going to move along quick and it's got a story, that seems to be our attention these days. And I have a feeling this would be engaging, have everyone on the end of this see. This might be what I need to do, a field trip and come out and see as well. Another question I always like to ask, are there any scenes where it does involve you're supposed to be eating something, or there's rations, or there's there's not any food scenes in the play?
Well, there is a little bit.
I'm always obsessed about things that have to do with eating and how you get around it. Is it just pretend, or do you have to use substitute things? But I don't want you to give anything when it's a key scene that will have people come and see. Is it better to come and find out what it is?
It is, yeah.
For the food scene, okay.
Yeah, this is definitely a show that's more an experience to come see.
Yeah.
It's hearing about it will only barely do it justice. It's the emotions, everything that is put on there, the hilarity, the especially the drill sergeant scene, the day one. It's your typical like R. Lee Emery drill sergeant.
Sure.
It lets the audience know we can laugh, we can enjoy, but then the serious weight and subjects and the burden that shows in the show is just.
And as we start to wind down here, here's your chance for any of the shout-outs. I know sometimes it's impossible not to leave somebody out, but if you want to do the rest of the cast or your scene designer, anybody else that we want to also need to get in there and mention as well, here's your chance for that.
The rest of our cast, we have Matthew Salinas as Dinky Dow. We have Kyle Robinson as Habu. Sean Washington, our veteran, as Little John. Jerry's professor, obviously. We have Jack Olson, who plays Scooter. We have Jimmy playing our baby son. Philip Kazaa plays Sergeant Williams. We have Brian Brophy as our doc.
Okay, very good. And you mentioned costume already, and set design, lighting. Sometimes lighting can be so key, again, to get people in that moment, in that mood.
So Tony Thomas helped design our
Okay.
set, as well as Tim Vale helping carpentry, everything like that. They brilliantly have these 4 little triangles that they helped do fantastically. And Arturo, of course, our wonderful lighting designer.
I will forever connect Tony Thomas to the time he did the musical version of Gilligan's Island.
Yes.
And he showed up with a Gilligan flat white sailor's hat on. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of that fake foliage has also been on Gilligan's Island. Now it's in Vietnam. Could be. You never know. Exactly.
We all love Tony. He's great.
Yeah. He is very dedicated. And then a quick reminder here. Last time we would have seen, we know for you, it was Proof. Last time associated with Holdcraft. Your last credit with them, or is this the first time?
This is my first time with Holdcraft. I've done at least 2 or 3 other shows with Jerry. So.
And what spaces we're at?
LaPorte,
Little Theater?
4th Street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Port Little.
LaPorte Little Theater.
Oh.
We were in the Boys Next Door together there, and at 4th Street Theater in Chesterton,
sure.
we did Sleeping Indoors. So
Okay. And then you call where home? Where are you from?
I'm from Munster, so
You're,
yeah,
wow,
I'm right here.
okay, we're right here. Okay.
Yeah,
And,
for this.
Alex, where you're from?
I'm from Trail Creek, so Michigan City.
Michigan
adjacent.
City area?
I'm living in Chesterton.
And Chesterton. So, and then how about you? Last credit you would have had with Holdcraft.
I did Dial M for Murder with Tony and Jill Thomas directing
That's
in the
right.
spring. I did that show there, and then I did Lend Me a Tenor at LaPorte Little after that.
And I should do a toss out of here. Speaking of Dial M for Murder, they have a run of that right now at Drury Lane that they're doing, and so that continues, I think, for just the next week or so. If you haven't been out to the opulent Drury Lane, Oak Brook, it's so easy to get to, also off 294. They're doing a version, I'm curious the version, theirs has a bit of a twist. It was the rewrite that they did, I think, in 2020 or so, in that the affair that's happening is not a traditional extramarital affair of the husband cheating on the wife. Was yours husband cheating on the wife? This is
It was the wife cheating on the husband.
with another man.
Yeah.
In this case, it's with another woman. So they've changed it a little bit. And if you look on Wikipedia, wherever you want, the playwright, the playwright company themselves opted to put a change in there as an option people can use in the script. Only in that, and this is the world we live in 2025, they didn't think it was all that shocking and blackmailing that somebody would be having an extramarital affair. So they wanted to add an extra element of shock value to it, in that it was a same-sex affair happening. Because it's still also, I think, it's set pretty much in the same time period. So that's why they changed it up, just for the audience interest. I think I would have been fine with the traditional way and still would have been on the edge of my seat, because it's the murder part that most people are following, I think, for the clues. But anything else in closing, or the next production coming up at Holdcraft, to give a tease for that for the holidays? Anything you got to share for us? Any scoops?
No, yeah, the big thing with ours, we're the ending of the season.
Okay.
So I think they're working on getting the announcement ready for the next season.
All right, so then just one more time, if we can have that rundown of times, dates, website for Tracers.
Yeah. So we'll be running the weekend October 17th to 18th. It's going to be at 7 p.m. and then our 19th Sunday will be at 2. And then the 24th, 25th will be at 7 p.m. and then our 26th performance on Sunday will be at 2 p.m. And tickets can be found there. Google the Holdcraft Players. It'll bring you to the website, or yptcinc.com. We'll also bring you to the Young People's Theater, and there'll be the ticket link website in there.
Perfect, very good. And thank you all for coming out today and being a part of the broadcast, especially Mr. Rao, who had to come so far, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right here in Munster, Indiana, in our own zip code. But come back anytime for anything that you've got, you're pushing and promoting. We always have an open door to welcome you. And good luck with the run. I might see you from the audience seat soon, all right?
Perfect. We'll
Thank
see
you,
there.
and thank you to also our audiences, be it those who are tuned into the radio dial, or those who are watching virtually, or maybe finding us on social media or on our YouTube channel. We're so glad you were part of today's conversation. I'm your host, Phil Potempa, for OfNotoriety. We hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, or wherever your path may take you.